Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach E here with another Tuesday night YouTube live session. I'd like to welcome everybody here today, and it's going to be a good one because we're going to go through. I called it a 13-minute routine. I didn't sit down and calculate it. I didn't put those skills to work, but it's going to be around 13 minutes when you do it straight through. But with my instructionals and demos and stuff, it's going to be like you're going to be here for normal time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You know the drill. So what's going on today? I was driving for 2.5 hours. So it's perfect routine for me, 13-minute routine to undo desk work. And it's something that I'm doing a lot more. I'm sitting a lot more just because I'll be arrested or fined if I go anywhere. So just stuck in my chair, and I've needed to bring back some of these techniques that I've, to be honest, forgotten about, especially the reverse lunge to twist technique, which is great for hips and whole anterior line. Got a flickering light there. He was telling me to shut up and get on with the workout. Again, Tuesday night crew. I do have to apologize. Ate my fair share of rice again for dinner, so I'll do my best not to burp into the microphone. And I just want to take a quick peek. Who's here? Hello, Celeste, Joanne. What's up, everybody? Say hi if you haven't said hi yet. Would love to see who's joining me today. How many do we have so far? Oh, small crew, 12 people. So what are we going to be going through today? The 13-minute routine to undo desk work. Yeah, and this is in the description, exercises and whatnot down below. But there are 7 techniques. The first, we're just going to breathe, and we're going to do something that I call 360 breathing. And it's a little bit different than diaphragmatic breathing. Then we're going to do the wall neck side bend, and I published this technique on my YouTube channel sometime this year in 2020. That's how good my memory is. Sometime in 2020. This is on my YouTube channel. So amazing technique again for decreasing tension in the neck muscles, but also relaxing. So a lot of our stress and tension in these muscles comes from the psychological stress that we are experiencing from whatever we're doing. So we just tense up. It's like, I picture the cobra. When the cobra's freaking out, he's stressed, he flares out his hood there. Same thing, these traps, it's the same effect. When we get stressed, we flare that out. So we're trying to scare people away or something. Next up, wrists. If you're mousing, typing a lot, I got a technique called playing the piano. T-spine level 1 ERE, that's on YouTube. That one's a tough one. It looks simple, not easy. Psoas Activation, we did this one on, I believe, the second YouTube live that we did. I already mentioned the reverse lunge, reach and twist, anterior lines of chest, abdominals, hip flexors, quads, right down. And then I'm going to introduce you to the near far drill. And this is a visual motor drill that I learned from my friend Daniel Gallucci, who's a functional neurologist and who I helped publish the foundation program. And I'm helping publish him online because what I think he does is not being done, makes complete sense, and it's really, really effective. So I'm going to introduce you to a drill there and tell you how you can learn more about his work and what he does to keep the brain healthy and to restore it to good function. I'm not going to say optimal function, but good function and improving in function over time. Okay, so let's get started. Just want to see, okay, people are showing up. Little intro helps. All right, we're gonna get into it. Just gotta improve my transition back to the mat. How about that? 360 breaths. So you want to get into a relaxed position, and you can sit if you want. Now, the traditional diaphragmatic breathing, people talk about belly breathing. The belly goes up, the belly goes down. I find that this is challenging in a standing position, and it's extremely challenging if you're trying to exercise. So the techniques that you're going to learn, some of them that we're going to go through today, require you to breathe and breathe slowly and in a deep and relaxed fashion. You can't do belly breathing with that because we need abdominal activation, we need multifidus activation, back muscles, deep back muscles. So belly breathing we can't do that. That's why I like to teach 360 breathing. And it's expanding the chest. If you think of the chest, the rib cage, and the lungs, there's a balloon for each lung, so left and right. When you breathe in, the balloon is going to expand in all directions. It doesn't just expand down or out, it expands in all directions. That's what I want you to picture when you're doing the 360 breathing, okay? Relaxed posture, not holding really rigid military posture. Relaxed, get comfortable. You're not going to be in perfect alignment, but we're going to get there, you'll see. So we're going to start. Just shake it out a little bit, loosen up, loosen the neck up, just light, relax. And we're going to do some 360 breaths. Let's do 4 of them. Okay? Relax shoulders and just picture the lungs expanding in all directions, up, down, outwards. And just slow breathing in through your nose, out through your nose or mouth. Trying to keep these muscles nice and quiet in the neck. Keep this stuff relaxed. One more. Okay, now we're going to go into the arms up position. And what I would like you to do when we're done this workout is do this beside a mirror. You're going to go, the mirror is going to be looking at your side, and then notice your alignment when you do this one, okay? So arms are up in this position, 90-90. Again, try and get relaxed, the neck, and then same 360 breath. Now try to get alignment, chin in, don't flare the rib cage. 360 breath. Neck is floating, head is floating on the neck. Hold at the end a little bit. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. Okay. Now, when you practice this, you might just feel like, oh, whatever. When you really sit down and practice this and get in tune with your body, you'll start to get the gurgles going, especially after you ate 4 pounds of rice at dinner. Start to feeling the gurgling because you're really relaxing everything and spreading the diaphragm, sending the diaphragm down, and it's pushing on the intestines inside, pushing stuff through. So it's that manual, it's called peristalsis. Your intestines squeeze to push the food through and out the sewer. Okay, so practice that one. It's really, really amazing. Next up, wall neck side bend. So that was 360 breathing. We did 4 breaths and then 4 breaths with arms up. Now we're going to do the wall neck side bend. So you need a wall for this, if that wasn't self-evident. And we're going to match it to breathing. Again, this is super helpful for neck tension because it's not just reefing on your neck with a static stretch, but it's actively taking you through the range of motion. So when I go this way, I'm contracting this neck muscle. Reciprocal inhibition, the law of reciprocal inhibition states that these muscles are going to relax just by a reflex. So already I'm getting relaxation, and then matching it to the breathing calms down the nervous system to decrease some of that psychological stress that's contributing to the tension. Okay, so on a wall, head back, just shoulders relaxed. And then let's just do the movement 1 time each side. Just a pure neck side bend. Easy, don't push it. Go to the end range, hold briefly, 1 or 2 seconds, and then the other way. Again, easy, don't push it. And then down. Okay, now we're going to match our breathing. So we're going to inhale, centered. Exhale on the way down. Hold briefly. Inhale. on the way up. Exhale on the way down. Now try to work the range a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. Let's do one more on each side. Trust me, I need this more than you guys. Inhale. Exhale. More. Inhale. And then inhale. Okay, good. So, right away, you're driving, you're stuck, sitting there. If you're not conscious of keeping your head back on the headrest, these muscles get tight. Looking around, people are doing crazy things, stressing you out. That's really helpful. So that was the wall neck side bend. Next up, we got playing the piano. Okay, and I'm going to show another technique as well that incorporates this, because I noticed that I don't have shoulders on here. I'm going to throw that in. A technique that I was just playing with earlier. I was on a walk with the kids. That's what I'm doing a lot of these days because we can't do anything else. We're not allowed to. So I'm doing movements. I'm in the streets. I'm doing this stuff just because I don't care. I don't care anymore. I haven't had a haircut in I don't know how long, 2 months. I'm letting myself go. I'm doing whatever. Okay, playing the piano. Piano player. It's like this, right? So we're going to do something similar. I'm going to go one hand. So I'm doing my right side right now. And this position is extension of the wrist, flare of the fingers. That's why I call it the extended flare. So anybody who's done my upper limb control course, who has seen some of my videos where I've demonstrated this, you know what that is. The rest of you, that's what it is. Extended flare. Extend the wrist, flare the fingers. Okay? Now hold that. And you're going to feel these muscles fire up. What you want to do is try and continue to get extension. So if you're here, if you've been here a few times, you know my stuff, activation at the end range. Even though it's not moving, I'm still actively trying to extend and flare. Okay, both. Extend the wrist, flare the fingers. Now playing the piano is press the thumb at the knuckle, 2 seconds. Keep that extended flare. Press the index finger at the knuckle, 2 seconds. Keep the extended flare. Okay, I'm going to focus now. 2 seconds. You're going to feel some intense burning. And your muscles are going to start to shake. And then come out of it under control. Switch it up. So you got a little better range here. So I'm spraying this wrist, playing hockey. Tripped up on the ice. So my mic's okay. So extended flare. Maintain activation all through the extensor muscles of the forearm. Play the piano. Thumb, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. At the knuckle there, 2 seconds. Shout me out. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. That's 1 cycle on each. Let's do another one. I'm just going to do 2 cycles. Okay. This is handy. I can see myself. Okay. Extended flare. I should have been up here anyway. 2 seconds. And you can play with it. I mean, it doesn't always have to be at the knuckle. The further you're going to go, it's just you're going to incorporate a little more muscle, a little more longer lever arm, so it's going to be harder to hold. 2 seconds. See, I'm starting to lose it, so I want to get back to maximum extension and then flare. Now, this is what's really helped me. I couldn't straighten that pinky finger before. It's techniques like this where I was working extended flare, pressing on the digit in different positions, building that endurance and strength. Yes, I have a pinky finger that fully extends now. Okay, that's how you get it. Let's do the other side. Play the piano. Do, re. So I won't torture you with my horrible tone-deaf singing voice. Simple technique. Really helpful for maintaining extension. If you're doing push-ups, you need full extension. Otherwise, you're going to jam your wrist all the time. So this technique is one way that you could work on it. So a shoulder technique that's related. All we're going to do is we're going to work shoulder, scapula isolated. So we're going to keep the elbow locked out. When you keep the elbow locked out, you keep the triceps and the biceps, which both have heads that cross the shoulder, so they influence the shoulder. Think about this. If I'm bending the elbow, the bicep is contracting, the tricep is the biceps shortening, the tricep is lengthening. That destabilizes the shoulder because these muscles, again, cross the shoulder. So if there's stuff that's moving around, that's going to destabilize the shoulder. I don't want to do that. I want to maintain a strong, stable shoulder and isolate the movement here, not have movement occurring elsewhere. Locked elbows. Extended flare, and we're going to work behind us in shoulder extension. Okay, now, when I retract my scapula like that, tendency will be to do that. Don't allow yourself to do that. Pull your chin in, extended flare, and squeeze the hands close together. Like I'm trying to touch my hands behind my back. Okay, don't hyperextend the spine. Keep the spine tucked in neutral. So you have to engage the abs, the glutes a little bit. Okay, and just work that, hold it. I'm breathing. Pinching the scapula together, working the rhomboids, activating the rhomboids. And bring it down. Come out under control. It's just a little bit of shoulder work we're going to do today. And again, relax before going into extended flare. And we're going to work it up a little bit. So retract the scapula, pinch them together, elbows stay straight. Raising up a little bit. Keep that extended flare going as much as possible, wrist extension. Working up a little bit. Let's rotate a touch. Okay, rotate the hands a little bit. Keep the extended flare. Keep the elbow straight. How much can you go? Limbo, how low can you go? Keep the extended flare. Rotate. My arms are out to my sides now. I'm still trying to push them back. And relax. Okay, so we're just working that a little bit. Something I was playing with, don't even have a name for it yet, but it's part of the extended shoulder circle. Working that range a little bit, except we're just hanging out. This is the kind of stuff that I do in live workshops. I kind of just throw stuff in sometimes. If you're at a workshop of mine, I see something, I'm like, okay, I want to show you this. This just popped into my head, so it wasn't in the plan, but that would be helpful. Okay, it's going to pull you back, and it's going to work all that stuff. Extensors of the wrist and forearm. Psoas activation. There we are. 3 reps, 5 seconds. So we're going to do psoas activation like before, like we were seated, we're going to do it standing. Just simple psoas activation, hip flexor. This is the hip flexor muscle, but it also inserts on the lumbar spine. And we're doing this because when you're sitting, desk work, sitting in a car for 2.5 hours, these muscles are in the shortened position, but they're not active. So your body is just going to adapt. It's going to get weaker in this position. They're going to stay in this shortened length. They're going to get weaker, and they're going to have less ability to extend. Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to just work the shortened range to restore that strength that is lost. When we're supported by a chair and a backrest, you don't need the psoas to help maintain a neutral or slightly extended lumbar spine. So it gets atrophied, and then we find it harder and harder to get that position, or we get into the posterior pelvic tilt, flex lumbar spine, kind of sway back position. And then that wreaks havoc on our intervertebral discs. So we don't want that. So psoas activation. Okay, you're gonna start a little slumpy. So if you're here in the hip flexor workout, live workout, we did this on a chair, but you can do this standing. A little bit slumpy, a little posterior tilted, so tail tucked between the legs. We're gonna lift the leg up to about there, or up to about there, what does that mean? Just below 90, okay? And then we're gonna press into the hand. So I'm pushing down this way to activate psoas. And then as I'm activating, I'm going to get into an extended position. Okay, and what I'm trying to work is the muscle deep in the middle of the hip, the psoas here, and then relax it and down. Okay, and I highly suggest you check out the hip flexor workout that we did, because I broke it down a lot more. Tonight I just want to do the exercises. No science. I'm sick of science. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Flex the hip, slumpy posture. Press down against the kind of the medial quad, but I'm pressing down mostly. Activating, trying to push my knee into my hand, push my hand into my knee. I'm slumpy, and then I go extended. And if you need balance, like me, like right there, use it. It's not a balance competition, but it's a Psoas activation technique. Okay, and then down. So we're reactivating this muscle that is atrophied, or not atrophied, is shut off when we're sitting. It doesn't have to work. Okay, we need it to work. It's really important. Other side. If you felt it in the TFL, which is on the lateral aspect of the hip a bit too much, here's the trick. Flex the hip, but go out a little bit, horizontal abduction, extension, and externally rotate a little bit. So the foot crosses the midline a bit more. That'll shut the TFL off more, get more psoas. Activate and slumpy, and then extend, keep pressing. Press, wake that thing up, get it to work. Breathe, and then down under control. Okay, let's go the other side, one more. Slumpy, I'll do the TFL, overactive TFL version. Slumpy, activate, fire it up. And then get into extension, tall posture. And down, okay? So super important, strengthening the psoas. I can't talk about that enough. Just gonna check to see if there's any comments. I should always check just to make sure my mic hasn't died or something. All right, hey Emmanuel, 1:06 a.m., wow. Maggie Groom. Okay, so Margaret Groom, Maggie Groom, she joined when I was focused more on strength and conditioning and more in the martial arts world. So training fighters, I started something called Power Dojo. She came in there and she started doing all sorts of cool stuff. But I remember she posted a video of her climbing the rope, the CrossFit. She's climbing that fire, I don't know what kind of rope it is, a big rope, it's a big thick rope, all the way to the top. And when I saw that was awesome. But awesome to have you here. Maggie, Lisa Olson, all right, some people I know. Cool. Next up, reverse lunge, reach and twist. So this one's gonna get you working a little bit more. Let me show you the technique first. Don't need that. And then I'll break it down briefly and then you can start watch it. So picture it first. I'll show you the front view is better actually. So reverse lunge. That's it. Nice and smooth. Okay, let me show you a side view so you see what's happening. Okay, so it's a sequence here. So what are we doing? First is the reverse lunge. Make sure that when you're going down, you're keeping your torso upright and you're not collapsing forward here. The knee can go as far forward as you want of the foot, as long as the foot stays flat and you can maintain pressure through the heel and the metatarsals in the front. Okay, down here, knee is hovering above the ground. You want to hang out hovering if you can. If it's too much, chill on the ground, rest, but try to hover to get the glutes active. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna do 4 per side. First lunge and reach at the same time. Back to middle, twist with the abdominals, and then coming up. First lunge and reach. Twist, using the abdominals to turn me. And then coming up, okay? It's 2. That's 4. I'll show you something. When you do the reach, don't kink your back, smooth opening through the spine. Okay, I'm not just like that, hinging at one intervertebral joint. I'm smoothly arching up, reaching up, and then coming back. Okay, let's do a couple more. Last one. Okay, why is this good? Reverse lunge is just good in general. So if that's all you could do, great. It's gonna stretch out quads, especially rec fem, because we're stretching at both joints that it crosses, knee and hip. It goes right into the anterior line, the abdominals, chest, all that's getting lengthened, lats. But because we're hanging out down here, get the glutes fired up again, we're sitting on our ass all day, they shut off. Okay, that's the term gluteal amnesia, coined by Dr. Stu McGill. It's my old prof from Waterloo back in the day. They shut off because we're sitting on them. They don't want to be working. It's hard to work when you're being compressed all day. Someone's squishing you all day. It's hard to do stuff, okay? So the glutes are on when we're hovering, and then when we twist, activating abdominals, getting a little more stretch here, and activating a little bit more glute medius outside in the hip rotators as well. So really good bang for your buck technique, okay? Remember, smooth arch, don't hinge at one intervertebral joint, and just keep working it. Okay, near far. This one, I gotta make sure you can see my eyes for this one. Okay, right about here, that looks good. So near far, let me show you what's up, and then I'll break it down. So I got my thumb, so it's in focus. Now it's out of focus, now I back off, it's in focus. This is my near thumb. Okay, I can see it, it's in focus, I'm not burning a hole in my thumb like, trying to light it on fire. I'm just kind of soft gaze looking at it. Other thumb is out, same level, about eye level. And what I'm gonna do is far thumb's in focus, near thumb's in focus. Far thumb's in focus, near thumb's in focus. So I'm gonna do it as fast as I can with landing on the thumb nicely and getting it in focus. Don't just flip if it's not in focus, okay? That's the near far. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because this computer screen is all right here. One distance away. You might have a 31-inch monitor like me. It's taking up your whole field of vision. One distance. Our eyes need to be able to quickly focus on something far away, focus on something close, and back and forth. This is going to train that. And this is one of the neuro drills or visual motor drills that I learned from Daniel Galuchin. It's so important because, and he's taught me that the eyes, when you take in information, it projects to 75% of your brain. Okay, super important for overall brain activation, health, and brain activation and blood flow for optimal health and longevity. Okay, this drill, and specifically in choosing for desk workers, it's because we're always focused on that one distance away, and then our eyes get used to that, and then it's use it or lose it. You don't use that skill of focusing far and away, you're going to lose it. I do this on the bench when I'm playing beer league hockey, when I used to play beer league hockey, and I will again one day. Okay, so near, we're going to do 12 in one direction, or on one side. So let's go at your own pace, because it's your focus, not mine. So do 12, so there and back, let's count that as 1. It's got to stay in focus, and then you move. Keep going, finish up your set. And then we're going to do the other side, okay? Let's see how well you can see my eyes here. So I go in, it's blurry, back it off till it's clear. That's my near. The far is fully outstretched, and I'm going to flick back and forth. "12 times. Okay? Near far drill. Amazing. I do it when I play hockey because the same thing. I get used to maybe watching something at a distance and my eyes don't have the speed of changing the depth perception, my ability to focus at different depths. So I do this on the bench a little bit, look at my glove, that's really close, and then look over at the play, that's really far, and just focus one or the other, back and forth, and then it's like activating muscles before you work out. I activate it, and then it's better as I'm playing. Okay, so let me see here. That is what I have planned. That was nice and tight, which is awesome. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Again, this is, if you do this routine, and I'm looking at the live recording, and we've been going for about half an hour, but if you do this, once you learn the exercises, look at the list, you should be able to do them, do along with me, learn the technique, proper cues. But once you do this, it takes 10 to 15 minutes. If you just whip right through it, you know what you're doing. You do this, if you did this every day, before work or after work, either or, both, every other day, something consistently, a couple times a week consistently, this is really going to help to keep the body awake, fully mobilized, and to target those areas that kind of get beat up when we're sitting in the desk for too long, and we're stuck in a stagnant posture for too long. So give it a shot. Come back to this one. It'll be really helpful. Now, any questions? Oh, T-spine ERE. Where was that? Number 4. After playing the piano. Let's do it. How's the app coming along? It's almost live, my friend. ROM Coach is almost live. I'm super excited about it. So go to the waitlist, rom.coach/wait, and get on the wait list, and I'll tell you exactly when that goes live. T-spine ERE. Okay, so this is probably the most important technique in this whole routine. Thanks for reminding me that I forgot it. It's a 4-point position. Hands are right under the shoulders, knees are right under the hips. Hands and knees are on the same 2x4. Imagine you're on 2x4s. Fingers are pointing straight ahead. Elbows stay straight. Turn the elbows down a little bit. Protract the scapula a little bit, so push my body away from the floor. So I was hanging out with my daughter for the last couple of days. So I'm picking up some of her vernacular. Doing a bit of a cat camel just to warm up. So I believe this is the camel. I don't even know. There's a cat. I've never had a cat or a camel. Cat camel. Flexing the spine, looking at your belly button, looking at all the rice digesting in your belly. Extending the spine, looking forward, keeping the elbows straight, so don't let those elbows bend now or ever again for the rest of your life. Looking straight ahead. Okay. Flexing, looking at the belly, extending, looking in front of you. And then come out, relax. Actually, one of the points I was going to make with this too is I did that playing the piano technique. I programmed that in right before this. And I was going to ask you, I had this whole master plan to ask you, did you notice for anybody who has wrist problems, if that felt easier to get down on the ground in the 4-point? Because I know many people have issues with that. There goes that, but now notice, does this feel better? Because we did that technique, playing the piano and the shoulder technique. It might. T-spine ERE. So let me describe this first, because if you haven't done this, it might not make sense if you had just run right into it. Start off in extension. Protract the scapula, so push your body away. Full extension. Elbows stay straight. Now what I'm going to do, try and get the muscles between the shoulder blades to help extend me. Okay, multifidus, it's deep to the spine. If you haven't seen my video on this, go check it out because I give you a little demo of what these muscles look like. Now I'm going to posterior pelvic tilt and flex the lumbar spine, but keep extending between the shoulder blades. Like I'm trying to look up while doing, so I'm like half cat, half camel now. Okay, keep extending. Now it should fire up a little bit more between the shoulder blades, the multifidi in the thoracic spine. Maintain that extension and then just bring the chin to the chest. Maintain the extension. Maintain the extension, hold. Breathe. One more breath. Keep extending and those muscles keep firing up in between the shoulder blades, deep to the spine. And then relax, come out of it easy. It's almost a dissociation technique. I'm just thinking about it. It's also an ERE. Okay, so if you imagine my hand is my thoracic spine, I'm flexing everything below it, extending the thoracic spine, and then flexing my neck. So this opposition where I'm fighting above the thoracic spine that I'm trying to work, I'm fighting it. I'm trying to pull it, but I'm resisting. I'm trying to pull it from below, but I'm resisting. This is a almost magical technique. This is not biomechanics, this is biomagic. To get the deep muscles to the spine, in the spine, that are responsible for stability in the spine and maintaining good posture. It's amazing to get these muscles fired up. But you have to keep trying. If you don't get it right away, you keep trying and you just follow the cues. We're gonna do it one more time. Start off in full extension, protract the scapula. That's important, so we're not getting just the rhomboids to fire up. And it feels like we're working these muscles, but we're not. So protract the scapula, extend up, posterior pelvic tilt, flex the lumbar spine. Under control, keep extending the T-spine. Now I'm there, I'm at the end of the lumbar spine flexion. I'm just gonna bring the chin to the chest, flex the cervical. Keep extending the lumbar though. The three segments, they're doing different things. Extend the lumbar, hold. Nice 360 breath. One more breath. Keep extending through the T-spine. I'm trying to pick my chest up. And then relax, okay? And if you have the intention, you understand what you're trying to do, you can picture it, you have the intention, you'll get it. If you didn't get it tonight, you'll get it. Just keep practicing it, ideally daily, and that's gonna help. What that does is, gets those muscles fired up, opens up just the thoracic spine area, so holding good posture. If you're not already structurally kyphotic, holding good posture makes it a lot easier, okay? Thanks for the reminder of that one. I would have been sad if I missed that one. Okay. So, let me know what you thought about that routine there. I think it's good. I do these things in my day. And I'm gonna go look at some questions here. Oli Lagourde, is there an exercise or dynamic stretch like the piano player, but for the feet? Totally. Do the exact same thing. And I do show this, actually, in my lower limb control course. The body is the feet and the ankles are akin to the hands and the wrists. Similar bone structure, same functions. You do the same things to it when you want to get it working properly. So extension would be akin to dorsiflexion. So toes to my knees, okay? And I'll keep because it's hard to reach when you're, you can do it too, but you tend to get some nerve pulling in the back. So I keep my knee flexed when I do this. Extension, do, a deer, a female deer, re. Okay, do the same thing. You can play songs if you want. Mary Had a Little Lamb, kids like it, but you see how weak that is? You just gotta touch it, press it, and just don't force it too hard. Don't overwhelm it, but just get it fired up. Hold it for a couple seconds. Hold it for a couple seconds. Just activate it. You can hold it longer to build endurance. Do more sets, more reps to build strength and endurance. Okay. So good question. And now you know basically everything you do with the hands, that's good for the hands and the fingers and the wrists. It's good for the ankles and the feet and the toes and vice versa. It's funny, another technique I didn't talk about, or concept I didn't talk about, was metatarsal pressure. But I teach the same thing, metacarpal pressure. The bones in the feet here, where the ball of the foot is, all 5 toes have a metatarsal underneath it. All 5 fingers have a metacarpal bone underneath it. When doing push-ups, it's something I teach in upper limb control, especially with people who have wrist issues, hand issues, metacarpal pressure. You'll feel that. The handstanders, anybody who does handstands or does circus, things like that, gymnastics, they learn that. It helps you grip the floor, but also helps to give you better stability. It's like creating the arch in your hand on the floor. So, great question. Oli. Okay, so Emmanuel, you can do the routine later today. Yeah, go to bed and do the routine later. So everybody, thank you very much for joining me. Again, my name is, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Eric Wong from Precision Movement. You can check out my website, precisionmovement.coach. YouTube channel, obviously, we're here live on YouTube. And I'm gonna go live again on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So it's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can join me live. You can ask me questions, come hang out, hear me complain about how full I am, all that good stuff. So thanks again for joining me. It was a blast. I will see you next time. Peace.